Hello and welcome to the Exalted Empress Tarot. Today we are doing what advice does Spirit have for you? So it's a bit of a potluck, a bit of a guess and see what type of message you will get. But pick number 1, 2, or 3 and we will see what message Spirit has for you. Bye. If you picked pile number 1, you are in the right place. We're going to see what advice Spirit has for you. Now, I was going to pick only one oracle card for you, but we have got 2. The first one that we have is Renee, she who hopes, love, relationships, and she who questions, curiosity, destiny, search. So, can you see both of these? Yes, if I line them up properly. There you go. So this will be the theme for your reading. So she who hopes, Renee, love, hope, and relationships. This is a bit of a hopeless romantic card. You may have been through it a little bit. See how we have the little frog down here? I love this deck because this came out before the Princess and the Frog movie, and it just seems very, of the same vibes. I absolutely love the synchronicities. But she has been through her share of frogs, right? And she's looking for her Prince Charming. So Spirit is saying, do not give up hope. Who you are looking for, or the circumstances you're looking for, if you're not looking for romance right now, is on its way. She who questions, Amelie, curiosity, destiny, search. So something is destined to happen. You are destined to get what you are looking for. It just may not be in the shape that you are expecting it to show up in, okay? So keep that in mind. A lot of the times, I was going to say some of the times, but really it's a lot of the times, things show up for us in the most unexpected ways. Whenever you hear someone talk about whether it's love, romance, some sort of project that they have, they never know 100% how it's going to show up. It's always in hindsight when they tell this story, where it's easy to see how everything lined up and you're like, oh, well, obviously, if you went to that work thing, something was going to happen. Oh, obviously, if you meet this individual, they can help you out in this way. But real life, real talk is that you don't know that beforehand. And there may have been a lot of other people they've met who theoretically could have helped them, or a lot of other chances and opportunities that may have come by that theoretically could have done the same thing and just didn't. It didn't land. It didn't, fit together. The puzzle pieces were not puzzling the way that one would expect. And so there was no reason for them to expect specifically that time, that person, that place, that things would come together the way that they did. So just keep that in mind. Do not let your hope for the situation and what you want and what you're looking for go away just because things didn't show up exactly how you were expecting it to. Okay, so do we do 3? We only have room for 1. Okay, let's see how we do this. You know what? I take that back. We're going to see if we can get all 3 in here. So we have, see, that's all it is. But if you just really, these cards become besties, I think we can do it. What do you guys think? I'm sure you want all your cards, not just some of them. Okay, so this way, and then we have 1, 2, and 3. Yay! Okay. So here is your reading. So we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, and then the 10 of Cups in reverse. And I'm saying it that way because I feel like for you, you have really gotten some bad luck in the past. And it may not be something drastic. It may just be like you feel like you keep trying, and you're not getting what you're looking for, especially with the 10 of Cups. I am feeling this is a little bit more of a relationship reading. If not romance, at least, family ties, community, things like that. But I'm feeling like you have that feeling of trying and really trying to keep things moving forward, progressing in your life, in your love life, And it just seems like every time you try, you just have the same kind of non-start answer. You may be doing a lot of dating, you may be meeting a lot of new people, and it just isn't going in the direction that you want it to. So you may not feel like your 10 of Cups is fulfilled, meaning your relationships, that, perfect, happy ending, the finality just isn't where you want it to be. If you look at this card, they're like the toppers on a wedding cake, right? But it's upside down. So we're not seeing that ending that we really want to at this time. At the 8 of Wands, I'm seeing that something is going to come in very quickly, but it's definitely, again, not going to be as expected. Okay, those quick changes, things can change very quickly. And I think this is one of the most true yet annoying pieces of advice that you can get. So sorry for being the deliverer of that. But one of the most annoying things that is so true, and it goes along with the same thing, is that things can really change overnight. Just really, you could be living your life thinking, oh my God, nothing I do ever works. Every single time I put effort in, something happens, things go in the wrong direction, and then it just works one time. You meet that right person, you go to the right place. It just needs to work out that one time. And you really can't predict that. So I feel like you're going to have your moment. You're going to have your situation come in where you really are just going to be doing things as usual, everything just as it's always been planned, and then all of a sudden this time it just works. And I know it's kind of frustrating because it's more comfortable to have things line up where you can see the progression, and you just may not see the progression in your case. That just may not be what is meant to happen for you. So just keep trying. It's gonna be a little bit like a slot machine for you where one of the things will work. You're not going to be able to know what it is, but when it happens, it's going to happen very quickly. And I know with the 9 of Wands, you are feeling a little beat up by the situation. You're feeling a little beat up by being on this merry-go-round of like trying and it not working, trying, not working, trying, not working. And Spirit sees that. Spirit really does. But the advice we're getting from Spirit is with the Chariot is that you need to pick the direction of your life. You need to pick what direction things go in. And the only way of doing that in this case is just to keep going, keep doing, keep trying new things. I would also try just a variety of different ways to meet your person. They always say the abs, but really try to do all the things. Do all the old school tools, talking to people about it, telling people you're looking, trying new hobbies, going to new places, even doing the same hobbies but just in a different group setting, things like that, so that you can find who specifically you're looking for. This is a really interesting here. We have the Star and then we have the Tower. Usually in the order that the tarot works, the Tower actually comes first and then the Star is immediately afterwards. So it's interesting that you're kind of getting it in reverse. I take that to be that instead of something drastically happening that's negative that causes you to heal, you actually heal first. You actually heal these wounds, and you probably are already in this process. You may be really far into it, actually. That may be adding to the frustration. You're like, I'm so healed. I've worked on myself so much. But it's the healing that's going to trigger this change. So you're going to be so healed, and then all of a sudden, boom, that change is going to come in. And it's going to be something that you would not have met that person or you would not have gone to that place if you hadn't been more healed. If you were your old self, you never would have gone there and you would never have the opportunity. So it really is linked together with all the changes you are making in your life. With the 4 of Cups in reverse, I'm seeing that there's something that you're going to accept begrudgingly. I would keep an eye out for unexpected opportunities. And when I say unexpected, I don't mean just, oh, they came out of the blue. Things that maybe are opportunities that you aren't seeing that way. So initially when you see it, you may be like, oh, I don't want to do that. But then taking an extra second, a pause, and being like, this may actually be a good idea. I have the feeling that something's going to come in that you're not super excited about, but you're like, hey, am I not? And that's what's going to lead you forward into something you're not expecting. Especially the Six of Swords in reverse. You may actually, it may not even be a new thing. It may be a situation you're already in that you're thinking of leaving. You're thinking of, I guess it's a thing, it's a vibe. There's just no interest here. And I think taking a moment, maybe there's something about it where you're like, oh, I'll just stay until this event, or oh, I'll just stay until this thing happens, or some interesting new person or thing comes in, and you're like, oh, I'll stay for this little bit. And it's that little bit longer that you hold on that's going to lead to something changing, something coming in, because you gave that little bit of extra time the opportunity for things to change in, okay? And then we have the High Priestess out. I actually thought this was the Empress. This is the High Priestess. And so I'm turning it around because I only read the High Priestess upright, because the High Priestess is always about your intuition, your inner knowing, your knowledge. I mean, the moon's there, your emotions, how you connect to things. You actually have a higher knowing and a higher understanding of the situation. And I like how it's right underneath the Chariot. This is how you're going to take control of the situation. Not by knowing what's going on and having your hands in every piece of the situation, but by actually following and trusting your gut that you know what's best for you. I think that's really going to lead you into the next opportunity. You may not know exactly where the good things are coming from, but you know what's right for you, and you know how to align yourself. And by aligning yourself, Spirit is saying you will end up getting that jackpot with the old love machine situation, and this person is going to come in. So do not lose hope. You were right there. Be curious. Keep an eye out for things that may actually be really good opportunities that you weren't expecting, and come back and comment below and tell us how things changed. If that resonated, like and subscribe below. I'd love to see you in the Empress's card, either here on YouTube or over on TikTok, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, group number 2. If you pick this pile with the moon, you are in the right place. Sorry, we're going to pick one. No, we're not, apparently. Okay, we're going to pick this because it definitely came out. And we're going to pick this one that flew out. And these will be your oracle cards. Ooh, She Who Changes. Iris, Transform, Change, Enchantment. That right there. And then Perpetua, She Who Aches, Sad Solitude, Silent, Withdrawn. So with this pile, I'm seeing that you are making, obviously, a transformation with Iris. But I'm also seeing that there's something that happened recently that you are trying to heal from. And I'm getting the advice from Spirit. Yeah, these are confirmation with these cards. That really what you need to do is do your best to heal quickly. And I don't mean rush through it or pull through it or pull yourself up by your bootstraps. What I mean when wow, that one really is just gone. Where did that card even go? Okay. The High Priestess. We just got that in the other deck as well. Okay. Spirit, you also a lot of birds. Goodness. I promise you the whole deck is not just birds. There's supposed to be other animals in here too. That might mean something to you. So if birds are significant to you, especially birds with white feathers in general, or if you've been seeing white feathers, there's another bird. That's the only one that doesn't have a bird so far. There are 5 cards, 2 decks. Okay. Sorry, but yeah. If there's something that has happened recently, you may be tempted to sit in it more than is necessary. You may be tempted to basically just sit and be upset about the circumstances. And Spirit is saying those things had to fall away, or that person had to fall away, because it wasn't serving you, because you were becoming different. You are changing. You are becoming new. Wow, with the sun. Beautiful. I told you there were other animals in here. You are becoming a whole new you. Interesting. And so it may feel to you I also had the Nine of Wands in the other deck. This is interesting. So if you recall to the other pile number 1, definitely watch because we're getting some similar cards. But I feel like there's something that's changed recently in your life, and the temptation is to sit with it and be, feel your feelings, which is healthy, by itself. But what's not healthy is sitting with it when, to be honest, you're already healed, you already emotionally have moved past it, or it just wasn't for you. In your heart that it wasn't meant to stay. Let's see, let's make sure all of these are on camera. Okay, so shift just a teeny tiny bit. And you got a bonus card. Wow, 4 of Cups in reverse was also the last deck. So no, you have one more card. We're going to come in with that at the end. But yeah, so you're changing. And what I love about this is I'm getting a very calm, relaxed, smooth energy with this. So no unnecessary friction, no nastiness, no anything we don't want. You're really just moving through things very smoothly into a new life. And I think that because of the lack of friction, because of the lack of things going wrong or there being, all these escapades happening, you're really looking at why would this person leave, or why would the situation change, or why wouldn't I be able to have that, because there's not a big blowout. But not everything needs to be that dramatic. With the Star first thing, you are healing, and with the 10 of Swords in reverse, I feel again we're getting this message of not quite letting something go. Okay, Perpetua is she who aches, okay? So it's not pain, it's grief. It's sitting with something that you don't need to sit with. She's in this winter scene. It's very cold out there. And she has all these beautiful layers of clothing. She has, if not a crown, a beautiful headdress on. She has clearly the means to be somewhere else where it's not freezing. Where she's not shivering out in the cold, and yet there she is. There's no reason to stay in that environment or to stay in that mental or emotional state. The Star I see, and next is she who changes, and this is moving forward for you. Things are getting better for you, and whatever you think is ending or has ended, you're kind of sitting with it. It's lingering. It's staying with you. You do not need to hold on to that. The High Priestess as well. I feel like you're aware of this. I feel like you have an inner knowing that it's just time, and maybe you don't want to know it. Maybe you don't want to actually give it that recognition that this specific thing is over. And, take your time, but also recognize that what Spirit is telling you and what your own gut and your own mindset is telling you. It's not doing you anything. It's not giving you any service, any purpose. And then why is it there? With the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, I'm seeing that you're not feel like you're getting something out of the situation. Whatever was supposed to kind of be given to you. The 6 of Pentacles is also about charity, giving charity. So it may feel like you were in a circumstance where you were supposed to get something. Maybe someone promised something to you, hey, if you help me with this, I'll give you that. And it never came to fruition. They didn't actually give you that thing, didn't fulfill their side. Especially with the Knight of Pentacles. Or if it wasn't a direct, you will get this if you do that. It may have just been an applied, stability in that situation, and you just never got it. You never got the stability. You never got the thing back. I know that is a clear sign. With the Moon in reverse, things are becoming clearer. You are understanding more that was not meant for you, that people did not fulfill their side of the bargain, whether that was explicitly said or it was just heavily implied. Either way, you didn't get what you wanted. And notice how we go straight from the Moon to the Sun upright. Things are going to get so much better. So much better. And it's interesting, this Moon in reverse actually looks like the sun's coming through. And so interesting. But this is the happiest card of the deck. You are going to be so happy with your life and the direction that it's going. You're going to have so many things move in a better direction for you. You're going to be surprised. You're honestly going to be shocked. Like, how can things get this good? How can things be this great? And it's because of the changes that you are making. I mean, Spirit is acknowledging through this that you have made amazing big changes in your life. We're not explicitly talking about those big changes, but they are happening. That's why these things were all set into motion. Spirit is basically saying you have put in the work, and that's why these things are happening. So don't sit in grief. Don't be like, oh my God, I didn't get this. Oh my God, this person didn't say. Oh my God, this didn't work out the way I thought it would. It wasn't supposed to. You're moving on to bigger and better. With the Queen of Wands in reverse, I think also you were expecting to kind of have this like big energy with it. And that's not always how it works, you know. Power looks different on different people. And some people, it's, you know, this big personality. And other people, it's a quiet energy. But that power to move things is still there. So don't, but because things don't look or feel the way you thought they were supposed to, doesn't mean they're not going in the right direction. So just keep that in mind. I feel like you're actually doing really well. I actually feel like things are going really well for you, but it's more of actually having to acknowledge what's going well and what's going in the right direction. This is the 9 of Wands, so in reverse. So I think you're starting to see that. I think you're starting to feel that. I think you're starting to feel a lot better, and you're starting to notice your own transformation and what results from that. And I think it's not that you don't know that you're making progress. It's that you weren't expecting some of the results you've gotten because of that process. And so even though you're healing, you're not feeling as worn down as before. You maybe didn't connect certain people or situations with that feeling of being worn down. And now you are, because they are dropping and falling away. With the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like a money situation maybe wasn't bad, but is starting to get a little bit better. Maybe you don't feel like you have to hold on to money anymore like you did before. And with this 4 of Cups in reverse, I think it's so interesting because the other deck, again, if you felt a pull to maybe watch number 1, I would recommend doing that, because the 4 of Cups in reverse talks about something that we weren't interested in, that we kind of didn't value too much, then maybe coming back around. So maybe it's a new opportunity, maybe you didn't appreciate it before, or it may just be that you're realizing, wow, this actually really works for me, and I just wasn't expecting it to become from this thing. So keep an eye out for opportunities that may not look like opportunities when you first interact with them, or you haven't realized how much has actually been contributing to your success. If that resonated, like and subscribe below. I'd love to see you in the Empress's Court, either here on YouTube or over on TikTok, and I will see you next time, group number 2. Bye. Hello, group number 3. If this card looks familiar for you, then you're in the right place. Let's see what advice Spirit has for you. This is so funny. I meant to only take 1 card from this deck for all the piles, and every single pile got 2. So we have Orchid, she who thrives, flourish, prosper, blossom, and Geneva, she who radiates, knowing, ambition, confidence. I love that for you. You don't usually get these cards. This is so lovely. So, which she who thrives. I mean, very positive. I don't know what projects you may be working on. I don't know what new things are coming into existence for you, but they going to do very well, it seems. And we have she who radiates, knowing, ambition, confidence. Let's see what else you have going on, because I want to see how this relates to your tarot cards. We have the World in reverse. We have Temperance in reverse. Interesting. Wow. Okay. We definitely do not need all of our cards to fly off like that. Just give me 1 second. Your death is... There we go. Okay, we have all your cards here. So we have Death. We have the 8 of Cups. Can you see these? Yeah, so they are definitely tilting in the wrong direction. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's put them really close together too, because I want to see if we can try to fit another card in here. King of Cups, is that fitting in here? Yes, but barely. Okay, we got him in. That's what matters. Okay, So, the World in reverse, Temperance in reverse, Death, Eight of Cups, and King of Cups. Very noticeable, very interesting that your cards right there turned upright after Death. Let's see. By the way, Death is not... I think it's pretty much well known if you've been watching some tarot reading that Death does not mean death. It means the ending of something. Oh, no more cards want to come out? Maybe this is your whole message. Oh, okay. Here we go. Spirit was like, no, I have more to say, actually. Nine of Pentacles. Six of Cups. Yeah. Things are going to be very different from you after the Death card. So, yeah. These are part of the new decks I got this year, and this one has been used the least, and I can tell. The cards are just sticking. Eight of Swords, really interesting. The Empress, and do we have... I kind of want to stop there. I kind of call that should be the end for this one. So sorry you're getting... You know what? We got the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, that's not going to fit. Okay, let's see. See if we can get that to fit on here. These cards are so big. They fit on the top though. Okay, I will just hold the Hierophant up when we get to it, so you can fully see that card. So She Who Thrives, and then She Who Radiates. With the World and Temperance in reverse, I feel like that has been your past. I feel like you may be coming in here feeling a little down. Know that you have the most positive reading right now than any of the other decks, or sorry, any of the decks, any of the other piles today. Things may felt like you were trying to make two things work together that were not going to work, and that it was really messing with your day-to-day kind of joy. That is about to end, and it's about to end very abruptly, but with a finality to it. And when that ends, when that situation ends, and it's going to be an outside source, by the way. I don't get the feeling that's going to be something you specifically do. It's going to be an outside source. Things are just going to get a whole lot better much quickly. So with Death, it's an ending. It's a very definitive ending. And I think this is a really interesting version of the card because of the sunflowers that are all over it and this kind of sun motif that you would usually see around angels. So this is the angel of death coming in. It's not completely negative in it's never completely negative, this card, but just this depiction of it with the sunflowers especially, and then the sun around it. I'm feeling like it's focused more on a new beginning than the ending itself. And that's exactly what I'm seeing here in your card. You are going to be prosper. You are blossom, even with the flowers. And I think you're going to feel it. I think you're going to feel that switch within yourself, because we have She Who Radiates, knowing, ambition, confidence. If you were feeling not like yourself and that you were a little bit held back, know that that's going to change. Your energy is going to shift when this thing shifts. This is, just to give you an idea, like if this is like you're at work, there's this person who you feel like, God, they're always in your projects, they're always in your business. They're going to find a work elsewhere or be let go, something like that. If you have someone in your family who's always opening their mouth, they're going to move or something like that. They're going to get something completely unrelated to you where they leave the situation and you're like, great, because I didn't want to deal with them anymore. With the Eight of Cups, I'm seeing that you've put a lot of work into something. You're not quite there with the Nine of Cups where you're getting luxury and things coming back to you because of it, but we're really putting in the emotional work, the emotions, the desire into something, and it will be coming back, and we're just now gaining that. So again, it goes right back to something changes, something ends, and we immediately feel the difference, especially with the King of Cups. Whoever was in here, however the situation was before when we were dealing with it, really just kind of messed with our emotional base. And I think that's why it was such a big deal for you, and why it's going to be such a big change with one thing moving, one thing leaving, one situation ending, where it changes everything else, because that one thing that was there was really shaking up your emotional state. So it was just like a bunch of static in the background, like all the time. And the thing that that's why you feel it so immediately, because they're leaving. You're just like, oh, it's a breath of fresh air. I don't have to deal with that static in the background. I don't have to deal with that mess. With the 9 of Pentacles, you may feel a lot more luxurious and nice, and like things are going your way finally, that you have a lot of things that you can maybe pamper yourself with. I think, and people really downplay having nice things. I don't mean nice things as automatically being like expensive. I just mean like things that really fit you and who you are. With my upbringing, I kind of got told a lot, like, oh, well, it's just this. You just need this. You just need it to work. You just need whatever. And so I never paid attention to, like, aesthetics. And now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, it makes such a big difference to have things that not just that you like, but that fit you and that project to the world who you are. Because guess what? People are drawn to it. The right people are drawn to it. And then, you may get little compliments throughout the day, like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. And like hearing that's something that you chose, or something that you're wearing, something that you have as decor or something around the house, like, is something that other people also enjoy. It's a little boost to your confidence each time. It's those little reminders throughout the day that, like, you made good choices. This looks nice. You look nice. You picked this. That was the right thing to do. And so I feel like you're really, without that static in the background, with that extra space, that extra time, that extra energy, you're actually going, this belongs to me. This belongs to me. This is a nice thing. I want this to look nice. I like this to be this way. And so whether it's actual how things look, or if it's more like how you organize your life, things like that, you're going to start that reinforcement in multiple areas of your life where, like, oh, I do make good choices. Oh, people do like what I do. Oh, this really is going to help me or help other people. Like, you're going to realize all the little different choices throughout your day. They're going to make huge impact because they start pile up. With the 6 of Cups too, I also feel like you're going to walk away from a situation. I really am feeling this, especially in the way of kind of like a job. Think of a job. You're at a job. The job could be fine. You may not even really, if someone asked you in that moment, do you dislike the job? No. I dislike Patty. Patty's kind of a bitch. Patty always does this, this, and this, and it gets in the way of my work, and I find it really annoying. Patty moves to Cincinnati, and you live in, I don't know, not Cincinnati, literally anywhere else. And so you're like, bye, Patty. And then you realize, like, oh, without her bothering me, I can make the decisions I want to at work. I can organize things like the way I want to at work. I can do this and that the way I want to at work. And all of sudden things get a lot better. You have more energy. You start coming in, bringing coffee to everybody. You have a better mood. Everybody else has a better mood because they're getting free coffee. And things just get better and better and better and better. Maybe you don't completely change the company, but like the atmosphere just gets a lot more positive now that person's gone. But then you realize, wait a second, not only am I moving a lot different, but now all of a sudden I'm the anchor for everybody else's mood. So it's a lot of you pouring in, and you have to question to yourself, do I want to keep pouring in? Everyone just like siphons off when I'm pouring in, or do you want to go somewhere where everyone's pouring in a little bit into each other? You're not the only one bringing coffee. You're not the only one who comes in with smiles. You're not the only one who's coming up with a good mood. Everyone's doing that because everyone's contributing in a way that, matters. It's not just about the bottom line. It's about the culture. And those things are harder to pin down, what exactly works, right? So I think you may make that choice of leaving the situation that you were hoping to make better after it's fixed. Don't let that stop you, by the way. Sometimes that's just how things work. People don't appreciate what they have until it's gone, or they don't appreciate what you had to say until it's kind of too late, right? I mean, I don't know your exact situation, but if you were like telling people, maybe management, Patty's a problem. Patty's too Patty. She does this and that. You maybe have been saying that, Patty's a problem. Patty does this, Patty does that. It does not allow me to do my work, and Patty does that. And they didn't want to hear you, and then they leave, and then all of a sudden a ton of friction just goes straight out the window, and they're like, oh, like there's no denying it at that point. It's like no one's experiencing that friction now because they're not there. All those weird vibes leave because you're not there. And then you come in, and all of a sudden you're bringing coffee, and the vibes are better, and they're like, oh wow, this person, were they doing that before? Things are getting like really a lot better. But they don't realize, or they don't recognize that you're pouring in. You're doing all this extra pouring in. You're not just filling Patty's gap over here. Now you're just creating a whole new structure. But that's exhausting when you're doing it by yourself. And if you've already said something about it, it's kind of hard to keep doing that. So don't let any sort of like guilt or anything. It's like, oh, they fixed it now. It's like, yeah, way after the fact. And then we have the 8 of Swords. So this is about feeling trapped. Yes, this is kind of the same thing. Don't let feeling trapped hold you back. And trapped can be, a actual literal circumstance where it's like you can't leave unless it's this circumstances, or it could just be like the guilt. Don't let anything hold you back. With this Empress too, I love that you have the Hierophant and the Empress together. You have a lot of court cards, right? Just in this corner. Just in this corner. It's court corner. With the Empress, this is about letting things come to you, being in your feminine energy and letting things come to you. I feel like you may, while you're pouring into this situation, I think someone's going to see it. I think someone's going to see it and someone's going to help you out. That's not part of this card, but that's what I feel looking at this. I feel like, so the Empress energy is about letting things come to you, letting opportunities come to you, really relaxing and being in your energy and letting things be presented to you, because feminine energy is about relaxing and letting yourself be pampered a little bit. And I think the opportunity of what shows you what's better and what could actually work is just going to show up in your life. So really allow that to happen. Don't push too much. I need to go over here. I need to do that. I need to You may not need to. The best movement may be to actually just sit back and relax. And it may be that it shows up for you when you're least expecting it. And that's what's going to show you, oh, this is what I need in order to move forward in a more fulfilling way. And with the Hierophant, it's going to be something unconventional. So the Hierophant is about structure. Or I take that back. It's about having more structure. You have this upright. The Hierophant is about tradition and doing things in a way as expected, as we're told to, as we've always known is the right way. And so I think you're going to realize that something was missing. And that maybe things have been so off that you completely forgot that, yeah, there was something that was structural that should have been there, that everyone says should be there, that wasn't there in this circumstance. So it's really not a surprise that things kind of went a little wonky. But you had forgotten about it because you're so used to dealing with that issue. This card is saying the structural thing will come in. This opportunity will show you, we have that structure. We have what you were looking for to make things right. And you're going to be like, that clicks. There you go. That clicks. Sorry, not a great snapper apparently. But I think it's really going to come out of nowhere, but it's going to be because someone sees you and someone presents this opportunity of you for things moving in the best way. So that is the advice that Spirit has for you. Things will be changing in a very big way once something ends. And if that resonated, like and subscribe below. I'd love to see you in the Empress's Court, either here on YouTube or over on TikTok, and I will see you next time. Bye.